Hello and welcome to a new episode of Under 360 English. Today we are going to discuss about Shariah complaint investments in stock market. So many of my friends who belongs to Muslim community, they used to ask a lot of doubts that investing in stock market is permissible for Muslims or not itself. That's the first question. Along with that, those who have started the investment, they used to ask, is it okay if I invest in equities? Is it okay if I invest in commodity FnO trades? If I do FnO trades there in equities or in the index, or is that okay if I do intraday, etc., etc.? So when these kind of questions arises, I just searched among some of my friends who belongs to the same community. But fortunately, unfortunately, when I met 3 to 4 people, I could able to get almost 5 to 6 opinion from them. So I decided to go for a research on that, and based on the research, I found a few findings that can be universally applicable. But still, I just want to tell you that this is not the final verdict. Still, contemporary approaches as well as the discrepancy in opinion will be there, but this is just a gentle guideline for you can adopt. I am putting forward these suggestions based on the standard literature that's available on various journals, as well as majority of them were sourced from Taqwa Advisory and Shariah Investment Solutions. That's the basic source of information adopted by NSE, National Stock Exchange, to devise their Shariah index. So all the references that I have used are given in the description. So please go through the description if you want to know more about it, or if you have any dispute in it. Please feel free to comment your disputes in the comment box so that I can correct myself or come out with a better approach. In this episode, we are going to discuss about a few points. First one is it permissible to invest in stock market for Muslims? Second one is it permissible to do intraday trades? Third one is it permissible to do FnO trade, futures and options or forward contracts, irrespective of whether that's in commodity or currency or in equity or futures or in equity or index. And if you want to select stocks based on the Shariah complaint norms, what are the things you have to consider? So stay tuned, keep watching. So I went through almost 20 to 25 literatures and those research papers that are released by various scholars there in various universities. Majority of them are research papers, and some are just falls under the category of white papers itself. And the information that pertaining mainly that related to Indian stock markets that I have sourced from Taqwa Advisory and Shariah Investment Solution thesis. That's India's considered as the premium Shariah advisory institution for business and finance. They are the advisory for National Stock Exchange India. People like Mufti Abdul Kabir Bakatullah, Mufti Khalid Saifullah Rahmani, Dr. Hafiz Muhammad, Iqbal Masoodi, Al Naqvi, all those scholars, they also came out with a lot of literatures that also is being taken for consideration. So let's come to the point. The first question is whether investment in stock market is permissible or not. Because I heard a couple of other disputes like you can invest in mutual fund but not in stock market. So as per the literatures that I have referred, what I found is investment in stock market is permissible provided in which all stocks you are going to invest. So if you are a person who are very much concerned about Shariah investment, in that case, that means ethical investment, in that case, you can invest only in stocks which are Shariah compliant. We will discuss about what are the parameters you have to consider to take into account of Shariah compliant stocks. But still there is an ambiguity exists about the investments in mutual fund, because as an investor, or you don't have any choice of stock picking by the mutual fund manager. You can't say that only Shariah compliant stocks the mutual fund manager have to pick. No, that's not possible. So investment in mutual funds cannot be considered as a Shariah compliant investment. But in stocks, obviously, equities, obviously, you can, provided that stocks are individual stocks are Sharia compliant. When we go through the stocks that listed in Indian stock exchanges, we can find that hardly 10 to 13 percentage of the stocks are only 100% Sharia compliant. Some of the other stocks you can add to this cluster by taking into some exclusions or some sort of compromises. But still, when we apply the entire parameters of Sharia guidelines, only 10% is permissible, or thus 10% of the stocks are only halal in nature. Obviously, there is a contradiction about everything. Some people used to ask, there is a uncertainty exists there the price of any stock. Obviously, that's true. When uncertainty arises, we can't say that that's 100% Sharia compliant. But the thing is, when you invest in any of the companies or the equities, theoretically you can say that you are partnering with the promoters. It's almost like you are starting a business venture with some of your friends or with 101 people or 1001 people together. So starting a business as a partnership, is that not halal? Obviously not. So in that perspective, investment in stock market is halal or permissible. On this regard, what I found is various ulamas, they have different opinion. Ulamas means scholars, I believe. They have difference of opinion, but still majority of the people or majority of the ulamas on various international Islamic universities as well as the research paper, they concerned with the idea that investing in stock market can be considered as investing in business. So that is permissible. Now the question is how you can screen or how you can pick the stocks which are permissible in nature. There are two approaches or two things you have to consider. One is the qualitative approach and other one is the quantitative thing. These two things you have to take into consideration while you select the stocks. So first thing is about qualitative or non-finance thing. That means the companies which you are looking into that should not indulge in the business of alcohol or gambling or finance or with that's a key income is not from the interest earning. It's not exhaustive, but still the companies that belongs to or gaining profit from tobacco or pornography or pork business or pork meat export or import or processing, that also should be excluded. Next comes is the finance part. So a company which has a total debt to market value of equity, that's you can take that as a 12-month average. If that's greater than or equal to 33%, that also should not be considered as a Sharia compliant one. So that also should be excluded. The third parameter is the company which has account receivables or market value of the equity for the past 12 months. That should not be greater than or equal to 49%. That also should be excluded. The third financial parameter is the company which has cash plus interest bearing securities as well as the market value of the equity. That should not be greater than 33%. But on the same time, in some cases, revenues from non-compliant activities are also permissible. That's some exclusions if they comply with some certain thresholds. Like if they are gaining revenue less than 5% means that also is okay for them. For example, in the case of ITC, the revenue from tobacco sector contributes almost more than 40%. So ITC cannot be considered as a Sharia compliant stock. In future, sometimes ITC may bring down their tobacco business contribution to a lower levels. If they bring down to that 5% or 4%, in that case, that will become a Sharia compliant stock. Another class of companies that are banks, because banks' major revenue or major source of income is nothing but interest. So in stricter sense, the banks also should be excluded from the list of Sharia compliant stocks. Other point to note is about the hotels and restaurants that provide non-halal products or entertainment as a source of their revenue. That companies also should be excluded. So I think you are clear with what are the types of stocks that you can invest if you are looking for a Sharia compliant investment policy. Now the question is all about intraday. Whether intraday trading is permissible as per Sharia policies. There are two sectors of ulamas, they are advocating for and against the intraday trades. I'll tell you both their justification. So whichever is somewhat convincing to you, that you can adopt. First sector of ulama, there says that it is not permissible. I'll tell you why. Because in intraday trades, we are taking the leverage, or we are taking the margin from the stockbroker and buying it. We are not taking delivery. So without taking the product to your holding, how can you sell it? It's 100% speculative in nature. When it comes to 100% speculative in nature, that is not permissible. Even in tax calculation also, intraday income is considered as a speculative income. So in that sense, it is not permissible at all. But on the other hand, some ulama there says that this can be considered as a very short equity trade itself. Morning buying, afternoon selling. You need not consider anything else. But the first class of ulama people, their justification seems to be somewhat convincing in nature. But still, I just want to put forward both these things. So based on your conscience, you can decide which is more convincing to you. So in short, whenever there is a risk involved, that cannot be considered as permissible. Similar case is applicable for BTST also. If you buy something today and sell tomorrow, we don't know whether that will come to the holding or not. There is always a probability of short delivery. So that's a risk involved. So that also can be considered as non-permissible. Next comes FnO. Is that permissible or not? So when I went through a lot of research papers, what I found is many scholars, they consider this FnO with a tagline that Karar. I apologize if the pronunciation is not correct. But the word meaning in Arabic says that's uncertainty, deception and risk. So in FnO, where it is contradicting the Sharia policies is the sale of what is not yet present. That's a typical verbiage given in majority of the research papers. So there is no sale involved. That all are just contract. We are selling and buying the contracts. There is no underlying asset came into our account. Especially this holds in the case of options. In the case of futures, some ulamas have difference of opinion. They says that that's just like we are buying and the seller is delivering after a couple of days or a weeks or months time. It's almost like you are ordering a furniture to a carpenter and giving the full amount to him, and he is delivering that to you after 1 month. That's in the case of futures, not with the options. The reasons what given the options is not permissible is the underlying asset ownership is not available at all. Moreover, that involves a lot of risk, uncertainty involves. In short, karar, that's there. So options, that's not permissible, but futures, though a minority of the research papers, they are permitting. Not majority, a minority. They have given a justification like that's almost like a delayed delivery. Because after the contract period, you have the option to take the delivery of the stocks, obviously. So let's summarize the things. Obviously, the first question is whether equity is permissible. Obviously, yes. Futures and option is permissible or not. A minority of the scholars says that futures is permissible, not options at all. Whether intraday is permissible or not, since there's a lot of speculation involved, intraday is not permissible. What about mutual funds? Since you don't have the option to choose the stocks in the mutual funds portfolio, you cannot assure the source of income of mutual funds. So strictly speaking, mutual funds are not permissible. But some Sharia compliant mutual funds are available. In that you can invest. So as the last part of this, what about in India and Sharia compliance? We have the Sharia index. Sharia 50 index is that's derived from Nifty 50. Similarly, Nifty 500 Sharia index is there. Similarly, Nifty Sharia 25 index is also there. We shall quickly go through these three Sharia indexes. First one is Nifty 50 Sharia index. So this one is based on Nifty 50. The current constituents of the index are screened for Sharia compliance. Those that are compliant form the Sharia 50 index, and the resulting index performance that somewhat closely tracks the performance of Nifty itself. So these indices are screened for Sharia compliance, and all these indices are liquid and investable. And this is a 100% compliance as per the strictest standards that are observed in Middle East countries. And the screening partner for NSE to maintain the Sharia index is Taqwa Advisory and Sharia Investment Solutions. And in short, if you are a person who belongs to a Muslim community and wish to invest in a Sharia compliance manner, in India there are many or more options are available. Even index is being constituted, Sharia compliance stocks are also available, though that's the number is very less. But still, the stocks that almost tracks with the Nifty 50 itself. So the return on investment need not be a greater concern for you also. So as an investor, you can always try for it. So I hope some of your queries or doubts that might have been resolved with this short episode. But still, I'm happy to listen to you. If you have any queries or if you have any suggestions to give, or that if you wish to contradict these views itself, please feel free to comment it in the comment box. Happy to listen to you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Till then, bye from FnO.